Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive.
Yeah, great to be back.
So today we're tackling a huge question.
Hmm.
How do we make Europe truly competitive,
Right.
innovative, and really a place where people want to be and thrive?
Absolutely.
And we're diving deep into a fascinating document from the European Commission.
Okay.
It's called Long-Term Competitiveness of the EU, Looking Beyond 2030.
Right. And what's so cool about this,
Yeah.
it's not just some dry policy paper.
Yeah.
It's packed with insights and data,
Uh-huh.
and it really paints a vision for Europe's future.
I think so too.
There are some surprising things in there, too.
Definitely things we don't usually hear about.
Exactly.
So to help us unpack all of this, we have an expert with us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, so no sugarcoating here.
Okay.
Where does Europe stand right now?
So the report gives us a bit of a mixed bag,
Okay,
but I want the unvarnished truth.
lay it on me.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
the EU is a major player on the global stage.
I'm s-
We're a global economic force. I
Yeah.
mean, our trade is really strong.
Yeah,
We're punching above our weight.
I like it. We're scrappy.
Yeah.
But I guess where's the mixed part come in?
Well, the truth is, our productivity growth has been lagging behind
Interesting.
our competitors
Oh,
for years now.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's like we have this incredible high-performance engine,
Uh-huh.
but we haven't quite figured out how to get it roaring.
That is a much better analogy than I usually come up with.
Uh-huh.
So it sounds like we need more than just like a quick fix here.
You got it.
This report's all about the long game.
Absolutely. And it lays out 9 key drivers
Oh, nine.
for competitiveness.
Okay.
And it's not just about spending more money.
Okay.
It's really a fundamental shift
Okay.
in how we approach everything,
Got it.
from the single market to skills
Yeah.
to how we design products even.
9 drivers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's dive into a few.
Sure.
Let's start with the single market. Everyone kind of knows it's a success story.
Yeah.
But what's the next chapter?
So most people, when they think of the single market, they think about goods,
Yeah.
which has been huge.
Yeah.
But
Well-
the report highlights the potential of services,
Okay.
and that's massive.
Interesting. So it's not just about the stuff we buy and sell, but also the services.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So services right now just aren't as integrated across borders as goods.
So what does that mean for like someone running a small tech company, say in Portugal?
Well, it means it's still too hard for them to scale up across the EU
Uh-huh.
to hire talent from other countries
Okay.
or to deal with all the different regulations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So unlocking that potential could be a game changer.
Okay, let's talk money.
Okay.
Driver number 2 is access to private capital.
Right.
And I know that Europe has always kind of struggled with this
Yeah.
compared to the US.
Mm.
So what's the diagnosis this time?
Get this.
Okay.
Europe's venture capital scene
Mm-hmm.
is just 1/10
1/10.
the size of the US market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's not just a gap, it's a chasm.
Yeah.
And it explains why so many European startups struggle to scale up.
Ouch. Okay, so attracting more investment is clearly crucial.
Yeah.
But it's not just about waving cash around, is it?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
The report talks about how fragmented our venture capital landscape is.
Okay.
So capital tends to get stuck in a few major hubs.
Uh-huh.
And this makes it harder for startups in other regions
Right.
to access funding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we need to make it easier for money to flow freely across borders.
Smoother regulations, more transparency,
You know,
making the whole investment process less of a headache.
Yeah, we got to make Europe
Yeah.
an irresistible magnet for investors
Okay, I like that.
looking for the next big thing.
Okay, on to driver number 3,
All right.
public investment and infrastructure.
Okay.
This sounds pretty straightforward,
It does.
but I bet there's more to it than meets the eye.
Absolute. Think of it this way.
If private capital is the fuel for our economic engine,
Mm-hmm.
public investment is building the roads and railways
Okay.
that let that engine move freely.
So we're talking the classic stuff, transportation,
Yeah.
energy grids,
Uh-huh.
but also things like digital infrastructure.
Precisely, high-speed internet
Yeah.
is not a luxury anymore.
Right.
It's a necessity.
For sure.
And investing in renewable energy.
Yeah.
It's not just about saving the planet, it's
Mhm.
about energy independence
Uh-huh.
and making Europe a leader in the green economy.
That makes a lot of sense. But where does the money come from for all this?
That's the question, right?
especially when so many countries are tightening their belts.
Yeah, well, the report actually calls for us to rethink EU fiscal rules.
Okay.
It's not about just spending recklessly, but
Yeah.
about having the flexibility to invest
Okay.
strategically in projects that'll pay off in the long run.
So being fiscally responsible, but not letting short-term thinking hamstring us.
Yes, and it's about making sure those investments
Yeah.
are targeted where they'll have the most impact,
Makes sense.
especially in cross-border projects
Yeah, okay.
that better connect Europe.
Okay, let's talk about the brains of the operation.
Okay.
Research and innovation, our
Mhm.
fourth driver.
Right.
This seems like a no-brainer for competitiveness.
It does.
But where does Europe actually stand on this one?
Here's the reality check.
Lay it on me.
While Europe is still a science powerhouse,
Okay.
we're not investing enough
Enough
in R&I.
compared to our global rivals. And we're falling behind in fields that will define the future.
Like,
Clean tech and biotech.
oh, so we're good, but not great.
Yeah.
And the consequences of falling behind are pretty dire.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If we're not at the forefront,
Yeah.
we'll end up just importing the technology of the future
Right.
instead of creating it ourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that means missing out on jobs and growth.
And the chance to shape the world with our own innovations.
Okay, so how do we close that gap? Is
Yeah.
it just a matter of throwing more money at research labs?
It's more than that.
Okay.
It's about supporting the entire innovation life cycle,
Okay.
from basic research to getting those breakthroughs into the market.
So nurturing that whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
Universities, startups,
Yes.
established companies.
Yes. Yeah, making sure everyone is working together.
Yeah.
And the report points to some interesting initiatives like the European Innovation Council,
Okay.
which helps startups scale up.
Become global players.
Right.
Okay, that sounds promising.
Right.
But what about attracting private investment in R&I?
Yeah.
How do we convince companies to bet big on Europe's future?
It's a mix of things.
Okay.
Tax incentives for R&I,
Okay.
public-private partnerships to share the risk,
Huh?
and making Europe a much friendlier environment for venture capital.
Right, we talked about that earlier.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a theme here.
What's up?
It's not just about doing one thing.
Right.
It's about creating this whole environment
Yeah,
where innovation can flourish.
that's it.
Okay,
And they
yeah.
really highlight clean technologies. Europe has a real chance to lead the world
Yeah,
in the transition to a sustainable economy,
for sure.
but we need to seize that opportunity.
Okay, next up, a topic that's been on everyone's minds lately.
Yeah,
Energy.
big one.
Driver number 5.
Yeah.
And boy, is it timely,
Oh, yeah.
given the current energy crisis.
It is.
So the report doesn't shy away from this at all.
No, it doesn't.
It acknowledges that energy prices in Europe
Yeah.
have been historically higher
Right.
than other parts of the world, and that gap has widened even further recently.
It has.
So no easy solutions here, I'm guessing.
It's tough.
What's the game plan?
So the focus is on a three-pronged approach.
Okay.
Reliable, secure, and affordable energy supply.
Okay.
So it's about becoming less dependent on fossil fuels.
Right.
Which means we need to ramp up renewable energy production.
Okay, but that takes time and a ton of investment.
It does.
Where's the money supposed to come from?
Well, they highlight things like the Repower EU plan,
Okay.
which is all about accelerating renewables,
Uh-huh.
making our energy use more efficient.
Right.
Again, it's a mix of public and private investment
Right.
and making sure the market can adapt quickly.
So it's not just about building wind turbines.
No.
It's about having a smart grid,
Yeah.
storage solution,
Uh-huh.
the whole package.
The whole thing.
Got it.
And the report emphasizes the need for a well-functioning energy market,
Okay.
one that can handle these shifts,
Yeah.
keep prices stable.
For businesses and for citizens.
For everyone.
Okay, a lot to unpack there on the energy front.
Yeah.
Let's move on to driver number 6, which might be less familiar to some folks.
Okay.
Circularity.
Oh, yeah.
What's the big idea here?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
Instead of our traditional take, make, dispose model, we need to move towards a system where resources are used more efficiently. Okay.
And waste is practically eliminated.
So closing the loop,
Yeah.
turning what we used to call waste
Right.
to valuable resources.
Exactly.
Sounds good for the planet and the economy.
It is.
I like it.
The report estimates that shifting to a circular economy
Uh-huh.
could boost Europe's GDP by 7%
7%.
and create millions of new jobs.
Wow.
So that's not just eco-friendly, it's economically smart.
All right, sign me up.
Uh-huh.
But how do we actually make this happen?
So
What are the concrete steps?
they highlight things like eco-design,
Okay.
which means building products that are durable,
Uh-huh.
repairable, and recyclable from the start.
Okay.
And then there's industrial symbiosis,
Industrial symbiosis.
which sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does.
But basically it means getting companies to work together
Okay.
so that one company's waste
Uh-huh.
becomes another one's raw material.
Okay, so it's about rethinking the whole system.
Yeah.
Not just tweaking things around the edges.
Exactly.
What about those critical raw materials
Yeah.
that everyone's worried about?
So the report addresses that head on.
Okay.
There's a push for things like the Critical Raw Materials Act,
Okay.
which aims to boost recycling
Mm-hmm.
and lessen our reliance on imports.
So securing our supply chains, making sure we're not vulnerable to disruptions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's about international cooperation, too.
Right.
Working with other countries to make sure those materials are sourced sustainably
Makes sense.
and responsibly.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
And we're only at driver number 6.
I know.
It's clear that Europe faces some major challenges,
Ugh.
but also some incredible opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
What stands out to you so far?
What's really striking is that these drivers aren't isolated issues.
Yeah.
They're all interconnected.
Oh, okay.
Boosting innovation requires access to capital
Mm-hmm.
and the right skills.
Right.
Transitioning to clean energy depends on smart regulations
Yeah.
and public investment,
Okay. It's about tackling these challenges holistically.
not in silos.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We can't just cherry pick solutions.
Right.
We need a comprehensive approach.
We do.
But hold on, there's still 3 more drivers to
That
go.
was exciting, right?
I know.
Each one is crucial for making Europe truly competitive.
Okay.
From the digital revolution to the power of trade
Yeah.
and open strategic autonomy.
All right. We'll be back to unpack those next time.
Can't wait.
Welcome back, Deep Divers.
Yeah, good to be here.
So last time we dug into some of those drivers
Mm-hmm.
for making Europe great.
Yep.
Things like the single market investment and even that idea of a circular economy.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
It is.
A lot of potential there.
And today we're diving into 3 more
All right.
that are crucial in today's world.
Okay, let's do it.
Digitalization,
Okay.
education and skills,
Uh-huh.
and open strategic autonomy
Big one.
when it comes to trade.
Sounds good.
So digitalization first. It's everywhere.
It is.
But what does it really mean
Yeah.
for Europe's competitiveness
Right.
beyond just having like fast internet?
Well, it's about using digital tech to transform our industries,
Okay.
businesses, and society as a whole. So weaving digital into the very fabric of our economy.
Not just using the tools, but fundamentally changing
Exactly.
how we do things.
It is.
Where does Europe stand in this digital revolution? Are we leading the pack?
Honestly, it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
We have a good foundation when it comes to infrastructure, high-speed internet,
Uh-huh.
5G networks,
Okay.
cloud computing.
Right.
But the report actually reveals a worrying trend.
Uh-huh.
Europe's share of the global ICT market
Uh-huh.
is shrinking.
Really?
Yeah, and we're falling behind in cutting-edge fields,
Boy.
artificial intelligence, microelectronics, quantum computing.
Wow. I thought we were supposed to be good at this stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wake-up call.
What's holding us back?
Well, one issue is that we're not translating our infrastructure advantage into actual innovation and growth.
Okay.
The report talks about Europe becoming a leader in digital technology verticals.
Digital technology verticals.
Yeah, so these are the game-changing technologies that
Right.
will shape the future.
Got it.
We need to be at the forefront of developing and using these technologies.
So it's not just about having the tools.
Yeah,
It's about using them to build the future.
exactly.
Okay, what's the recipe for making that happen?
Well,
More money for research.
money helps, of course.
Yeah.
But it's more about creating the right ecosystem
Okay.
for digital innovation to thrive.
How do we do that?
We need to invest in digital skills,
Okay.
encourage businesses, especially smaller ones, to
Right.
embrace these technologies.
Yeah.
And we really need to make sure that our cybersecurity is top-notch.
Okay. Let's unpack those.
Sure.
Starting with digital skills.
All right.
Everyone's
Okay.
talking about this.
Yeah.
But what's the specific link to Europe's competitiveness?
So think of skills as the currency of the digital economy.
Okay.
Without a workforce that's fluent in these technologies,
Uh-huh.
We're going nowhere fast.
Okay.
And it's not just about coding.
Right.
It's about critical thinking, problem solving,
Yeah.
creativity, all the skills that help people thrive
Yeah.
in this fast-changing digital world.
So we need to prepare our workforce for jobs that may not even exist yet.
That's right. It's a tall order.
It is.
And the report is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Europe has a serious digital skills gap, especially in certain sectors and regions.
So how do we fix that?
Well, we need to invest digital education and training at all levels, promote lifelong learning, and make it easier for people to have their skills recognized.
Across borders.
Across Europe.
Yeah, so making sure everyone has a chance to upskill.
Exactly.
Stay relevant.
It's so important.
In this fast-changing world.
And attracting and retaining top digital talent.
Yes.
Is crucial too.
How do we do that?
We need to make Europe the place where skilled workers want to live and work.
Give them a reason to come here.
Yeah, competitive salaries, great quality of life, opportunities for growth.
Roll out the red carpet.
Exactly.
Okay, next up is getting businesses on board.
All right.
With digitalization.
Yeah.
This seems like a no-brainer.
You'd think so, right?
But I bet there are challenges.
There are.
What are they?
Well, the report points out that many European businesses, especially smaller ones, are lagging behind adopting digital technologies.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a weakness because it makes them less competitive.
Less competitive with?
Both within Europe and globally.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how do we get those businesses, especially the smaller ones, to fully embrace the digital revolution?
So it's not about forcing them. It's about making it easier and more appealing for them to go digital.
So like?
That could mean financial support, providing advice and training, and creating regulations that encourage, not hinder digital innovation.
A carrot, not a stick approach.
Exactly.
What about startups?
Startups are key.
They're supposed to be the drivers of disruption.
Yeah.
Do they have what they need to thrive in Europe?
That's where fostering a culture of digital entrepreneurship comes in. We need to make it easier to start and grow a digital business in Europe. Provide access to funding, mentoring, and celebrate those success stories to inspire the next generation.
I like it. Before we move on, we can't ignore the elephant in the room.
What's that?
Cybersecurity.
Yeah.
All this digitalization sounds great.
It does.
But it makes us more vulnerable to attacks.
It does. We have to be smart.
How do we protect ourselves?
But cybersecurity is non-negotiable. The report stresses a comprehensive approach. Investing in security technologies. Developing a workforce with top-notch cybersecurity skills. And making everyone aware of the risks.
So it's about playing defense?
Yes.
But also building a strong cybersecurity industry in Europe.
Exactly. Cybersecurity is a huge market. And Europe has the potential to be a global leader.
Protecting ourselves while also creating jobs.
That's the idea.
And economic opportunities. Okay, let's shift gears to our next driver. Education and skills. This one seems pretty straightforward. A well-educated workforce. Key to a competitive economy.
Absolutely.
But is there a twist?
There's always a twist. It's not just about having a lot of degrees. It's about having the right skills for the jobs of the future.
And those jobs are changing rapidly.
They are.
Thanks in part to that digital revolution.
Exactly.
So how do we make sure our education system's keeping up?
Good question.
With this crazy pace of change.
It's a challenge.
Are our kids learning what they need to succeed in this digital age?
That's the million-euro question.
It is?
The report identifies a few major challenges. Skills shortages, the need for upskilling and reskilling, and making sure our education systems are actually aligned with what the job market needs.
So skill shortages are a huge problem right now.
They are.
Businesses can't find the people they need.
It's tough out there.
How do we fix that?
Well, there are a few things we can do. Promote vocational education and training.
VET?
Yeah, VET. That's a good one. Gets people job ready quickly. We also need to attract more young people to STEM fields.
Science, technology, engineering, math.
Exactly. Those are the areas where the demand is huge. And we need to make it easier for people to have their qualifications recognized.
Across borders.
Across Europe, yeah.
So it's about making sure people can get the skills they need.
Yes.
Whether it's through traditional education or vocational training.
Exactly.
And having those skills be portable across Europe.
That's the goal.
The report also talks a lot about upskilling and reskilling.
Yeah.
Why is this so important?
Well, in today's world, skills can become outdated quickly.
Good.
Because technology is always evolving.
Yeah.
And the jobs of tomorrow may require skills we haven't even invented yet.
Right.
So people need to continuously update their skills.
So learning isn't a one-time thing?
No.
It's a lifelong journey.
It is.
How do we create a culture where people are excited about continuous learning?
Yeah, not dreading it.
Right.
Well, the report suggests a few things.
Okay.
Financial support for training,
Uh-huh.
making training more accessible and flexible,
Yeah.
and recognizing learning that happens outside of traditional classrooms.
So on the online courses.
Even self-directed learning.
So making sure people can learn in a way that fits their lives.
Exactly.
Not forcing them into a one-size-fits-all system.
Right. And we need to recognize that skills can be acquired in many different ways.
Not just through traditional education.
Exactly.
It's about valuing what people can do.
Yes.
Not just the pieces of paper they have.
I like that.
Okay. But all this learning is pointless.
Yeah.
If it's not aligned with what the job market actually needs.
You're right.
How do we avoid that disconnect?
Collaboration is key.
Okay.
We need a much tighter connection between those who provide education and training, businesses who are hiring, and policymakers who set the rules.
Okay. So breaking down silos.
Yes.
Creating a system where everyone's working together.
Exactly.
Towards the same goal.
It's the only way.
And let's not forget about early childhood education.
So important.
That's where the foundation for future learning is laid.
It is.
And it's crucial to make sure all children, regardless of background, have access to high-quality early education.
Absolutely. That sets them up for success.
Invest early and reap the benefits later.
I like it.
Okay, last but not least, we need to talk about trade.
Right.
This report calls it Trade and Open Strategic Autonomy.
Catchy.
It does sound a bit jargony.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's about finding that balance.
You got it.
Between being open to the world.
Yes.
And protecting our own interests.
It's about recognizing that in today's world, we can't just shut ourselves off.
Right.
We need to be open to trade collaboration.
Uh-huh.
But we also need to be smart.
Okay.
Strategic about it.
So being open to the world, but not naive about it.
Exactly.
How do we actually do that?
So the report highlights several key areas.
Okay.
One is deepening ties with key trading partners.
Like
the U.S., India countries, in Asia and Africa.
So building those win-win partnerships.
Exactly. Based on shared values.
Mutual benefit.
And mutual benefits, yes.
It's also about ensuring a level playing field in global trade.
It is. We need to make sure the rules are fair.
Yeah.
That everyone is playing by them.
No more turning a blind eye to bad behavior.
No more.
What about free trade agreements?
FTAs?
They've been a bit controversial.
Yeah.
But the report seems to be in favor of them.
Well, they can be a powerful tool, opening up new markets.
Okay.
Reducing barriers to trade. Encouraging investment.
So FTAs are about creating opportunities for European businesses.
Yes, to expand globally. And they can help reduce our dependence imports for those critical goods.
Right. The ones we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. It's about diversifying our sources.
So it's about opportunity and security.
It is. Both are important.
Now let's talk about supply chains.
Okay.
This has been a hot topic.
Yeah, since the pandemic.
And the war in Ukraine
Right.
really exposed how fragile our global supply chains are.
They are.
What's the plan to make them more resilient?
So the report emphasizes the need to strengthen our supply chains.
Okay.
Especially for those critical raw materials
Right.
we need for our industries.
Less reliance on just one country.
Yeah, more options, more flexibility.
How do we make that happen?
Several approaches
Okay.
encourage more domestic production.
Okay.
So we're not solely reliant on imports. Build up strategic stockpiles, essential materials.
Okay.
So we have a buffer.
In case of disruptions.
Exactly.
And working with our partners to secure access to those resources.
Yes. It's about being prepared.
So a bit of planning.
Yeah.
A bit of diversification. And a lot of collaboration.
Collaboration is key.
All right. We've covered a ton of ground today.
We have.
From the digital revolution to education and skills.
That's a lot.
To the complexities of trade.
It is.
In a globalized world.
It's complicated.
It is clear that these drivers are interconnected.
They are.
Crucial for making Europe truly competitive.
Absolutely.
What are your key takeaways?
From this part of our deep dive?
Yeah.
Well, what strikes me is that it's not enough to just be good at one thing anymore.
Yeah.
Europe needs to excel across all these areas.
if we want to be a global leader.
Exactly. We need to be digitally savvy,
Okay.
have a highly skilled and adaptable workforce, and be smart about how we engage with the global economy.
So it's about being a champion.
Yes.
Not just a contender.
That's it.
I like that.
Contender to champ.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
I know.
We still have one more crucial driver to explore.
Oh, yeah.
Creating a regulatory framework that actually fosters growth and innovation.
Interesting.
I know it sounds a bit counterintuitive.
It does.
But trust me, it's more exciting than it sounds.
All right. I'm intrigued.
We'll be back next time to tackle that final driver.
Okay.
And wrap up our exploration of how to make Europe not just good, but truly great.
Can't wait.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
Here we are.
Into making Europe great.
The grand finale.
We've explored 8 key drivers so far.
8 down, 1 to go.
Covering a lot of ground.
We have.
From the single market to digital skills.
To sustainability and trade.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
And today, we're tackling that 9th driver.
All right.
Creating a regulatory environment that actually fuels growth.
Interesting.
And innovation.
Because usually regulation is seen as the enemy of growth.
Exactly. When I first saw regulation on the list, I thought, wait, isn't that usually the villain?
The bad guy.
And the story of economic growth.
Yeah, that's the common perception.
It is.
Regulations are seen as red tape, bureaucracy, a burden on businesses.
A headache.
Exactly.
Right.
But this report flips the script.
It does.
It argues that smart regulations, well-designed regulations, can actually be a force for good, even a catalyst for competitiveness.
All right, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Okay.
How can regulations make businesses more competitive?
So think about it like this.
Okay.
Regulations can create a level playing field, ensuring fair competition,
Okay.
preventing companies from cutting corners.
Right.
They can also protect consumers.
Okay.
Building trust in the market.
Yeah.
Making people more confident about buying goods and services.
Makes sense.
And believe it or not,
okay,
they can even drive innovation.
Wait, hold on. How does that work?
So,
don't regulations usually stifle creativity?
Sometimes.
And make it harder for companies to try new things?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Take environmental regulations, for example.
Okay.
They might seem like a burden at first.
Yeah.
But they can push companies.
To do what?
To develop cleaner technologies.
Okay.
And that not only benefits the planet, it creates new markets and opportunities
for European businesses
to lead the way.
In the green economy.
So regulations can actually force companies, in a way, to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Come up with solutions that are better for everyone.
What's the idea?
And
let's not forget about consumer protection.
Right.
Strong regulations that ensure product safety and quality actually benefit businesses in the long run.
That's true. When people trust that products meet certain standards, they're more likely to buy them.
Exactly.
So regulations can actually boost consumer confidence.
Right.
Which is good for everyone.
It's a win-win.
But the report is realistic.
It is.
It acknowledges that regulations can sometimes be a burden.
Yeah, especially for smaller businesses that might not have the resources
to deal with all the complexity.
But navigate all those complex rules.
Nice. So how do we strike that balance?
Wow.
How do we create regulations that are effective?
Yeah.
Supportive of businesses.
Especially the smaller ones.
Right.
The report emphasizes the need for smart regulation.
Smart regulation.
Yeah, so this means regulations that are clear, simple, and predictable.
So businesses know what's expected.
Exactly. It also means involving businesses in the process of developing those regulations. So the rules are practical and workable.
Not just theoretical.
So it's about common sense collaboration and cutting through that red tape.
Exactly.
And the report points to some promising initiatives already underway.
In Europe is the one in, one out approach.
One in, one out?
Yeah.
What's that?
For every new regulation, an old one has to be eliminated.
Oh, I love that.
It's like a regulatory spring cleaning.
Get rid of the clutter.
Yeah.
Make space for the things that matter.
Another key tool is the competitiveness check.
Competitiveness check.
Yeah, so this requires impact assessments for any new regulation.
So looking at how the new rules might affect businesses.
Exactly, especially their ability to innovate and grow.
So being proactive.
Yeah.
Thinking through those unintended consequences.
Before they become law.
Before it's too late.
Right.
The report is really keen on creating a more innovation-friendly approach.
It is. And one tool they highlight is regulatory sandboxes.
Regulatory sandboxes. Okay, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
What are those?
So they're like controlled environments
Right.
where companies can test new products and services without being immediately subject to all the usual regulations.
So like a safe space for innovation.
Exactly.
To flourish.
To try things out.
The report highlights how successful they've been.
They have.
In areas like AI and fintech, suggests expanding their use.
To other sectors.
Okay, it's about finding ways to foster innovation.
Yeah.
Without sacrificing those essential protections.
Right, finding that balance.
Okay, all of this makes a lot of sense.
It does.
But as with all these drivers, we need a way to track our progress.
We do.
How do we measure whether we're actually creating that environment?
Right, one that helps not hinders growth.
Exactly.
So the report suggests a KPI called ease of regulatory compliance.
Ease of regulatory compliance.
It basically measures
how easy it is for businesses to understand and comply with regulations. So the higher the score,
the better.
The better the regulatory environment.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. The goal is to see that score steadily climb.
Showing that Europe is becoming a more attractive place to do business.
Less burdensome.
We've reached the summit
of
our deep dive into Europe's 9 drivers for long-term competitiveness.
9.
We've covered so much.
From A to Z.
From the power of the single market to the importance of skills, research, to the often surprising role of smart regulation.
It is surprising.
It is.
But it's true.
What are your final takeaways
from this journey?
From this whole exploration?
Well, I'm feeling optimistic about Europe's future.
More so than when we started.
Definitely.
Why is that?
What's clear is that we have a lot going for us.
Okay.
A skilled workforce, a massive single market, a commitment to sustainability. But we have to be honest about the challenges, too. A lagging productivity. The need to boost our digital game, creating a regulatory environment that truly unleashes innovation.
So it's not about sugarcoating the problems, but also recognizing that we have the tools and the talent to solve them.
We do. It's a call to action.
It is.
This report isn't just a diagnosis. It's a roadmap for action.
A blueprint.
It's a call to policymakers, businesses, citizens.
Step up
and
make those ambitious goals a reality.
It's inspiring to think that Europe's future is in our hands.
We have the power to shape it.
We do.
To make Europe not just good,
but truly great.
That's a fantastic note to end on.
It is.
Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Into Europe's long-term competitiveness.
It's been fun.
It has.
And remember.
Yes.
The future isn't something that just happens to us.
We create it together.
We do.
Until next time, keep learning.
Keep exploring.
Keep pushing for a better future for Europe.
Absolutely.